Hello! If you're watching this video, it's probably because you didn't do so well on the quote incorporation quiz. So I'm going to try to explain it a little bit slower, show you some examples from the quiz, and hopefully it'll make sense to you. I tried to come up with a acronym that you could use to try to remember what you needed in a sentence with a quote, and I came up pretty short, but I did manage to come up with one, and that is PAP, with two P's on the end, P-A-double-P, which is sort of confusing because there's lots of P's in that, but we do what we can. So you have to look first at the punctuation before the quote. So if it's introduced with a complete sentence, you'd use a colon. If it's introduced with a phrase like so-and-so says, you'd use a comma. And if that is the first word right before your quotation, you're going to have no punctuation. So you check the punctuation before the quote. Okay. Then you look for the author. The sentence has to have the author's name in it somewhere. It either needs to be in the actual sentence or in the parenthetical citation at the end of the sentence. So if you say Bradbury writes, comma, blah, 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 you wouldn't have to put Bradbury again at the end of the sentence because his name is in there. But if you don't mention the author in the actual sentence, it needs to be in the parentheses. So that's A, P, A, P. Page is the page number in parentheses at the end of the sentence. It has to be there. And then period. There should be just one period that ends your sentence, and you have to put it after the parentheses. There will never be a time where the period will be at the end of the actual quotation. It's always going to go after your citation, because that's where the end of your sentence is. Otherwise, there's a citation all by itself. I'll show you some examples. So just remember PAP. So if we look at this example, in A Sound of Thunder, Bradbury explains, and I took this from someone's quiz. This is one of the short answers. In A Sound of Thunder, Bradbury explains, colon, embedded in the mud, glistening green and golden black, was a butterfly, very beautiful and very dead, period. Quotation marks, Bradbury 9, period. So if we go through PAP, first we want to check the punctuation before the quote. So we have Bradbury explains, and then this person put a colon. Bradbury explains is an intro phrase, so it wouldn't be a colon. Instead, we would want to put a different kind of punctuation. Think about what kind of punctuation it would be. If you said comma, you would be correct. This needs to be a comma. So punctuation before the quote. A, author. Is the author's name in there? Yep, he's in there twice, just to be sure, which is fine. P, page number. Is the page number in here? Yes. There it is, 9. And then P, period. There is a period after the parentheses, so that's good. But there's also one right here. That's a problem. That means this sentence ends here, and then this is its own sentence. Bradbury 9 is not a sentence, which is why you cannot have a period here. So the way we want to fix it is add a comma instead of a colon, take away this period, and just keep the one at the end of the sentence. You would also want to make sure that A Sound of Thunder is in quotation marks because it's a short story. But in your summer reading papers, it'll be in italics. Your books will be in italics because it's a book title. Anyway. PAP, there we go. Let's try again. Here's another one that people wrote, or one student wrote on their quiz. Bradbury writes, comma, embedded in the mud, glistening green and golden black, was a butterfly, very beautiful and very dead. So again, let's go through PAP. And if we do that, we've got the punctuation before the quote. Bradbury writes, comma, which is what it should be. A, author, Bradbury is in the sentence, so we're fine. So we've got P, A, P for page number. Look, there it is, number 9. And then P for period. Yep, there's one here and there's not one here. So we are good to go. This one would get full points, and this would actually be a decent sentence if you tried to use it in a paragraph. Let's look at one more example of one that's not so great. This one. In the book Sound of Thunder, Ray Bradbury says, embedded in the mud, glistening golden, green and golden black, was a butterfly, very beautiful and very dead, blah, blah. Okay, so, again, you'd want to make sure you first fix, it's a short story, Sound of Thunder, but punctuation, it'd have to be a comma, since it says. So we would change that to a comma. So it's Ray Bradbury says, comma. And the next thing is to check for the author, P-A, author, and he is right here. So we're okay. P for page number. Do they have the page number? Yes, they do. Right there. Page 9. And then P for period. Where is their period? Looks like it's inside the quotation marks. That is incorrect. It needs to go after the parentheses. So you would move it to the end. And then the sentence would say, in the short story A Sound of Thunder, Ray Bradbury says, embedded blah, 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 end quote, 9 in parentheses, period. Okay? Last one. Ackles' ignorance is exhibited through his disobedience about the rules, colon, quote, end quote, Bradbury 9, period. So take a second, check PAP. Is the punctuation before the quote correct? Is the author's name in the sentence somewhere? Is there a page number in parentheses? And is the period at the very end of the sentence after the parentheses? Yes to all of these. This one would actually be very correct. So, when in doubt, try to remember PAP. And again, the point of this is not just so that you can tell me, oh, that person did it right or that person did it wrong. The point of it is so that you can check these in your own sentence as you're writing them for your papers. So you can confirm, yes, I did it in a way that will make me seem like a professional writer, or a writer who has a sense of professionalism and who knows what they're doing, at least moderately. And that's it. So if you have questions, see me. If you would like to practice more, I can reset the quizzes so that you can continue to practice on those quizzes if you want. And I will have a makeup quiz for you to take on sometime next week, which would be the first week of September, once we get back from Labor Day. I'm not going to let you retake the same quiz. That's not really going to help you, but I will have an alternative quiz for you to take that will replace the grade from the previous one. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and just remember, PAP!